You are listening to Best in Seattle Real Estate with host Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420. This podcast is for real estate agents. Tina interviews the best of the best agents in the greater Seattle market. Learn strategies and the mindset needed to be your best. If you're looking to take your real estate business to the next level, this show is for you.
Welcome to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. My lineup is exclusive and reserved for the best of the best in the greater Seattle real estate market based on closed transactions in the last 12 months. If you are a real estate agent looking to level up your game, you're in the right place. My guest today is here to share what she has learned over the years that has taken her to the top in the real estate field. Now in studio, Sheri Putzke of Windermere. Sheri has closed 49 transactions in the last 12 months and has earned her the title of industry leader. And she is here today to share her secrets to success, data provided and verified by MMI, Mobility Market Intelligence. Sheri, thank you again for joining my podcast.
So much for having me again, Tina. It's great to be on.
Thank you. I would also like to give a big shout out and a big thank you to my producer over at Hubbard Radio, Benny.
Hi there, Tina. How's it going? And do you have an extra $5 million laying around?
Oh my gosh. You know what? You haven't asked me that question ever all the years we've known each other. And the answer would have to be no.
I mean, it's possible. However, if you did, you can buy the Home Alone house from the movie. Apparently, it's on the market right now.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Where's it located?
It's in Chicago, I believe, just outside. And so I think if we, me, you, and Sheri just scrunch up some extra cash, I think we could do it.
Well, Sheri is in the top 1% of real estate producers, so I'm sure she's got a little extra cash. We'll save that for another show.
All right.
Benny, you're awesome. Thank you always for bringing in your spunk and personality and everything you do behind the scenes.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah. All right, Sheri, we won't put you on the spot there and ask you for $5 million, but we'll talk after the show. So
Good.
A little bit about Sheri. Sheri is ranked as one of the top realtors on the Eastside. Although most of her business is in her own hometown of Kirkland, she gladly serves clients throughout the Puget Sound area. Sheri's responsiveness, patience, expertise, and incredible work ethic are often cited by her clients. She excels at executing on their behalf with a deliberate strategic measures to deliver impressive results. When working with buyers, Sheri is dedicated to helping them find and procure just the right property. For sellers, she creates the well-organized marketing strategies that maximizes their property value by positioning their home to stand out in the marketplace. Sheri also has an excellent relationship with her peers and being known for her high level of integrity and in-depth market knowledge. Sheri is a longtime resident in the Eastside with over 14 years experience in both new construction and residential real estate throughout the greater Seattle area. Her clients enjoy Sheri's personal touch and approach to professionalism, commitment, and heartfelt care that she exhibits in every interaction. It is truly her joy to be graciously serving them and expedite her motto, which is stay humble, work hard, be kind. Sheri's success is based on her clients' repeat business and referrals, and she greatly values her friendships that continue well after she exchanges the keys and gets those in their hands. Sheri, I've had you on my podcast a couple of times. I'm just really excited to have you. There is only 1% of the 1 percentile, so this show is really designed for the best of the best. And having you come back on a regular basis in studio is greatly appreciated. And I'm sure the agents that are watching the podcast and show today appreciate you as well. So thank you again for taking the time.
Very welcome. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, Sheri. So what is the single most important reason you see success in your business? What do you credit it to?
Single most is tough, but and thinking about it, I think if I were to call it one thing, it would be client care. Just really taking great care of people and doing it in an authentic way. If you're genuine and authentic, I think it shows. It's just about understanding the client's goal and helping them execute.
Yeah, that is, I mean, we hear going the extra mile, and I think everybody believes that they make the attempt to go the extra mile, but a lot of people, when things are said and done, realize they don't. I think a lot of the reason is they don't have an efficient business model that allows them to give that extra attention, right, Sheri? So being a top producer, you have to be hyper efficient and effective with your processes and your systems in order to be able to give that extra mile. And if you're listening to the show today, if you've never read the book Raving Fans, which is awesome because that's what Sheri does. And that's what she is crediting right now to her success is not just going the extra mile, but doing those special things that she is considered building her clients as being raving fans. Would you agree with that, Sheri?
I would, and I would break it down further. I mean, it is the extra mile, but it's also the simple things. I mean, honestly, the art of picking up the phone and answering it sometimes feels, I just, in reaching out to other agents or contacts, that is difficult. And for me, I mean, sometimes people are just surprised when I answer my phone. So just being available, and whether that's via text, via email, with a phone call, sometimes it's the simple things.
It is, but sometimes those simple things are not that simple. I would think about it when you answer your phone, if you're able to answer it, are you answering the phone with calmness, or are you answering the phone and that emotional stress because you've got too much going on is coming out in that conversation? Or when somebody asks, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, it's so busy. I've got so much going on. Think about the communication and how you're communicating in that process when you are communicating with your client, because your emotional space that you're having is going to have an impact as well. Would you agree with that, Sheri?
Definitely. And that is why I'm so grateful for those spam alerts, because that is such a large portion of my phone ringing these days. And it's nice not to be triggered by those anymore.
I totally agree. So, Sheri, how do you manage, speaking of stress and emotional stress in your business, how do you manage that in your business? Because with the amount of volume that you are doing, if you're not doing it at a high efficiency level, that stress is there. So, how are you managing and minimizing that in your
It's
business?
really with how I start my day. Every day I'm up at 5:45 or 6, and I hit the gym or hot yoga every day, 7 days a week. It's just really the mindset, and I crave it at this point. So I start at the gym. Then I typically meet my husband for coffee after that and take my dog for a walk. So that is my morning ritual, and it just kind of gets my head in the right spot to tackle my day.
I love that. And what you did not hear is Sheri wakes up and she goes to her phone and she checks her inbox. So think about, and I think that's going to be probably one of the biggest takeaways right now. Think about how you start your day and also end your day, because that is setting you up for success throughout the entire day. My thing is just is Orange Theory, which I just started. So yes, workout, whether you work out or you do hot yoga or whatever it is, if you don't do any of that, some type of movement that you're doing. And then you heard Sheri, she embraces and is grateful and spends quality time with her husband with a cup of coffee. She walks her dog. So what are those activities that you can create that space of calmness so that you can get ready for your day? And think about the same thing before you go to bed at night. What are you doing right before you go to bed? Hopefully it's not watching the news, but instead you're listening to some inspirational music, doing some visualization, whatever that is, to allow you to be able to have a great sleep. So great answer and great information, Sheri, for our listeners today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Coming up next on Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, continued conversation with Sheri Putzke of Windermere.
So how do you choose your mortgage professional partner when referring your buyers? Tina Mitchell, 145-420, is passionate about her career in the mortgage industry because of the challenges her family faced keeping a roof over their heads. She played her violin with her little sister at Pike Place Market as street performers to help their parents pay the bills. This was a traumatic experience for her, but drove her to work hard and realize the success she has today. Tina purchased her first home when she was 20, and this gave her a sense of pride and security that her parents did not have. Helping others reach their dreams of home ownership is rewarding to Tina. Tina has been in the mortgage industry for over 25 years and has been recognized in the top 1% nationwide. For more information on how Tina is helping her buyers stand out next to their competition, go to tinamitchellteam.com. That's TinaMitchellTeam.com.
Welcome back to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. Continued conversation with Sheri Putzke of Windermere. Are you a real estate agent looking for that one thing to take your business to new heights? Sheri is here to motivate you to be your best. You will learn what she is doing and how you can implement her best practices into your real estate business. Today, Sheri is sharing her strategies and mindset needed to be the best in the industry. Sheri is here to inspire other real estate agents to level up their real estate business. Sheri, thank you again for being here today and inspiring and motivating other real estate business that they can do it as other real estate agents that they can do it as well.
My pleasure. Thank you, Tina.
Yes. So Sheri, how do you deal with self-doubt in business? Because I believe no matter where you are at in the lineup, whether you are in the top 1% or you're just trying to survive and pay your bills, we all have self-doubt that pops in. The question is, does that pop in conversation that you have with yourself is able to finish a sentence, or if you have a way to be able to nail it before it actually is completed in that thought process? So what do you do in your self-doubt and to minimize that?
Well, fortunately, I have some history in the business to reflect on. I've done this for 19 years now, and really, it's about trusting the process. You know, I think it's natural for self-doubt to creep in, but it also kind of makes me chuckle. You know, if I think back, everything always works out. And you know, one thing that I really believe is that our business is very cyclical. You know, we do see the spring market is busy every single year. The summer tends to slow down a little bit, then it picks up in the fall and slows a little bit over the holidays, and then we start back over again. You know, our spring market, I would say, starts early, kind of end of January. And so you know, kind of knowing that and keeping my processes in check, and everything works out. The phone does ring, but it's a natural process for, you know, for people to question themselves. But stay the course, have a process, and follow it.
Yeah, great advice, Sheri. And yes, everything does work out. You're here and you made it, right?
Yep.
You'll be here and you'll make it tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So, and I think also, you know, keeping yourself busy during that time and doing the activities. This is a time to be creative and to create things when you don't have as much business. And if people are not calling in, I'm sure you're making outgoing calls to generate more of that business, right? So utilizing that time to continue to build your business, master and create new things so that you're keeping yourself busy in those times that the phone might not be ringing as much, correct?
Yes, and it's a great opportunity to collaborate and mastermind with other agents. I'm not a formal coach or anything like that, but I would say more of a mentor. You know, I've had people that reach out to me and want to get together and talk about what they're doing and tools that they might be able to implement. And I'm happy to do that with newer agents that are getting started. And then I also meet on a pretty regular basis with seasoned agents, and we talk about our processes and, you know, how we're handling new challenges in the business and, you know, obstacles, best practices. I've done that for a long time, and I've just found that to be really a wonderful resource. And, you know, agents outside of my brokerage, different age groups that might be more tech savvy than me, you know, there's what I do works, but there's a lot of different ways to do this business, and there really isn't a right or a wrong way. So hearing from other professionals and taking little nuggets that we can implement and execute.
Yeah, I love that advice, Sheri, and what a great balance. We all know that we should be hanging out with people that are doing more and better than what we are, or at least the level that we can learn from. And the same hand, coming from a place of contribution and helping building people up to help them get up to the level to where we have made it. And we've made it there, and you've made it there because of the people that have helped you get there. You didn't do it on your own, right? So I love that balance in continuing to take yourself higher by being around people that are doing at least what you are, if not better, and also continuing to contribute and share to help people get to that next level. So great advice of a great balance of contribution and being able to continue to monetize yourself. So how are you marketing your business right now, Sheri?
Honestly, I don't do a lot of marketing. I let my clients do it for me. I stay in touch with my clients. I stay relevant online with social media, but I don't pay for marketing outside of my sphere. I don't pay for Zillow leads or anything like that, but I just keep in touch with my database and my sphere. I do client appreciation events. I do monthly newsletters to my clients. I do quarterly snail mail. But I really try not to be annoying. I'm not pinging people on a regular basis. And I'm also not really a phone person, and there's a lot of coaches out there that tell you have to pick up the phone, and that works great for a lot of people, but there's also other ways for us introverts to stay in touch with people and to be successful. So it's just a matter of going back to what I said previously, it really has to be authentic and natural in order for you to do it. And so finding what resonates with you and just keeping in touch with your people.
Oh my gosh, great advice. Everything works if you connect to it and it's on a consistent basis. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're doing it consistently and it connects with you. Now, there are some things that will have a bigger result, but that may not be your jam. And so I don't like to stalk the cold either. I like to court the warm. I like to work within my database and people that I know. Stalking the cold would be buying leads and all of that. And some agents are in the top 1% by doing that. They're working the Zillow leads. And so they're really good with stalking the cold and going out and having those different relationships and conversations. So find out what works with you. Just make sure that you're consistently doing it. And I love how you mentioned about the phone, because you don't have to pick up the phone. You do need to stay connected on a high end. So maybe something different than picking up the phone is doing an audio text, right? So there's no conversation you're having, but they're being able to hear your voice. And so there's different ways that you can connect with people. Sheri's advice is to do it. Find the way that works with you, be authentic in that process, and have it part of your process and your system to where you're doing it on a consistent basis. The key is follow up and follow through with high touch points. You get to decide what that is. And you also mentioned snail mail. I'm going to give a shout out here. I use Mailbox Power, which is a system for snail mail. Very inexpensive and really great in what you can create within that software. So I'll take a look at that. All right. So last question before we get things wrapped up, Sheri, here. How do you look for new opportunities to grow your business?
Well, we're real estate agents. We need clock hours to keep our license. And real estate has changed a lot in 19 years. There's always an opportunity to learn and grow. And so whether it's a clock hour class or just a class put on by your lending partner, your title rep, I try and go to those. I think they're great opportunities to learn and grow. I'm an in-person kind of person. I just know that I don't have the attention span for Zoom. So I like to go to classes and be around people and interact and learn.
Yeah, that is great advice. And it kind of ties in as well with your masterminding and staying connected. It's really getting out there and continuing to get new information, new ideas. The market is constantly changing. The ways to connect with people are changing as well. New technologies coming in, which you mentioned. And if anything else, it's a space for you to get motivated and inspired to continue to grow. Because if you stay in your own space and you're not getting out there and hearing new ideas, it's almost impossible to be motivated and inspired to do anything better than you're doing right now, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, I love that. And some people are fine where they're at right now. You may reach a level of success that you're fine with, and that's great. But we still want to be better people and be more enjoyable in our space. And that's getting motivated and inspired by others. And that is the reason for the show. The reason that I am here is to motivate and inspire other agents by creating a community and a space that you can listen to people that are doing great things right now. And if anything else, if you're happy with your business and satisfied with where you're at, just listening what other people are doing and having that relationship and that camaraderie, I guess, is what we're here for. So Sheri, again, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a busy day for you to come from a place of contribution and share what you're doing and why you've been so successful year after year in your real estate practice.
You are welcome. Thank you, Tina.
To watch my recording with Sheri or other industry leaders in the real estate space, you can go to bestinseattlerealestate.com, or you can catch my show on my show YouTube channel, and of course, all of the podcast channels as well. Tina Mitchell, your host and your local mortgage expert. Until next time.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, is a licensed loan originator with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited.